Hey everyone, welcome to AstroScoop. This is Jeff, the astrology coaching channel that does a deep dive into the planets and signs of the zodiac. Today's video for right around May 19th, the Taurus Gemini Cusp. If you're new here to the channel, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Consider that subscribe button. If you're coming back, I also truly appreciate it. So we're just finishing up the late Taurus period, which is May 11th to the 18th or 19th. So then on May 19th or 20th, we start the Taurus Gemini Cusp. I've been getting a lot of comments where people are slightly confused about the cusp periods. This has to do with which systems the astrologers use. And yes, the cusp dates are slightly off. But for the most part, if you're dealing with the changes of the seasons and that kind of alignment, the cusp periods are the same each year, but they might fall slightly 12 hours or 24 hours before or behind a sign. This year, 2023, the sun in Gemini begins on the 21st. So if a baby's born this Saturday on the 20th, he or she is going to be right around a 29-degree Taurus, almost Gemini. If your baby's born on the 21st in the morning, let's say Eastern Standard Time at 4 or 5 or 6 a.m., that baby's going to be 0 degrees of Gemini. Now, I know some people don't agree with that, but that's basically where the two signs meet for the cusp period, going from Earth, which is Taurus, into Gemini, which is air. When we consider the late Taurus energy, Taurus folks born in this previous week still have that solidness and that earthiness of Taurus, but there's something that's not quite as heavy about them as it comes up right to the Gemini cusp. So these Taurus people are heavy, but also light. And there's the duality that leads us into Gemini. A Taurus Gemini cusp is all about energy, it's sensation, physical stamina and endurance, but it's also active thoughts, which is courtesy of Gemini. You have two phrases on this cusp. Taurus is I have, and Gemini is I think. It's about balancing that earthiness of Taurus with the thoughtfulness and the thought-provoking and all of the ideas that come up with Gemini. So what are some lessons for people that are born on the Taurus-Gemini cusp? Well, if you look at it in terms of opposites, the opposite cusp in 6 months will be Scorpio-Sagittarius in November. And Earth and air, which is this cusp, is sensation and thoughts and a lot of mental energy. Taurus Gemini folks have a very strong mental motor. Taurus is very persistent and determined, right? And Gemini is the spark of thought. So the mental motor mechanism, say that fast 3 times, the mental motor mechanism is very strong in Taurus Gemini folks. The opposite cusp, which is Scorpio Sagittarius, is much more into feelings and a sort of a rougher, potentially a less intellectual approach to life, and a little more of a wild or raw approach to life. Combining Taurus and Gemini can make these folks very versatile. They can be charming, witty. There's 2 rulers, which is Venus and Mercury. Venus is love and charm. Mercury is wit and communication. And because Gemini is air, there's obviously a sociability associated when you combine it with Taurus. I've known many people that are born on the Taurus-Gemini cusp, and while I find them fun, I have to admit, personally, I get a bit drained by these folks. So nothing against you, but these folks are a lot to keep up with. And it's good for Taurus-Gemini people to be a little more self-reflective sometimes and to monitor your pace. So the pacing is very important. A Taurus pace is rather plodding. A Gemini pace can be lightning quick. There's often a struggle for people to reconcile that Taurus Earth pace and that air energy pace. Grace Jones, Cher, Bob Dylan, Malcolm X are some famous people that are born on this cusp. Musicians Pete Townsend from The Who and his solo work, also Joe Cocker from the pop rock folk world, are also examples of some of the creativity and sensuality and thoughtfulness in the songwriting of Taurus Gemini people. Other celebs on this cusp include Ronald Isley from the Isley Brothers, who's a singer, and the iconic Mr. T from Rocky and the A-Team and other TV projects. Mr. T is an interesting one because obviously he has a very, very unique look. And if you watch Mr. T in his roles, now most likely most people are not agreeing that Mr. T is the best actor in the world, but he is an interesting mix of that Taurus stubbornness. You can see it in his eyes and his face, but he's dynamic, and he's also has a certain charisma that is reflective of an air sign, but the wittiness and the strong-mindedness with that mental motor that I mentioned before. Someone like Mr. T is someone that has a strong mental motor, and he has messages that are very strong. Thank you so much for hanging with me today and talking about Taurus and Gemini. I have more Gemini videos coming up. Please comment down below and let me know what kind of videos you would like to see. I truly appreciate your input. Until the next one, stay safe and be yourself.